Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good day everyone. Today we are going to present the program that we have developed for women in STEM Rim Shop. Ladies and gentlemen, our group consists of 5 members which are me, Nadia Adleena, Siti Aqilah, Amirah Izzati, Amelina and Syafarina.
Structured programming and database systems are vital because of its capability to automate processes and addresses a wide range of problems effectively and efficiently. In this project, we are focusing to help companies to select suitable materials for car rim, model, size, quantity as well as the color. This program will allow the user, which is the employee of the company, to key in the important information such as car model, rim sizes, rim material, rim color, where the provided information will show calculations such as durability and yielding strength of the material needed for the car rim. And in the end of the program, the user will be able to view the price, discount, order, overview, payment processes, and generate receipt. This will assist the user in selecting the most cost-effective and useful automotive features and materials. Selecting rims for a car and creating receipt for the customer are both time-consuming operations for manufacturers as many criteria that need to be evaluated such as materials for car rim, car model, rim size, quantity of the rims, and its color. The process may potentially contain inaccuracies as a result of manual selection process. This miscalculation may cause material failures such as corrosion, fatigue, and cracking. And to avoid this issue, a systematic program must be designed to assist the manufacturers and engineer in selecting appropriate rims and easing the purchasing process. There are 3 objectives of this project, which is first is to develop a system that will assist the manufacturers in processing orders and generating receipt. The second objective is to shorten the time to generate suitable material of the car rim, sizes, and color according to the given parameter. And the third objective for this project is to limit human error in the rim selection process.
Moving on to the program design, I will be explaining regarding the user-defined functions as well as the main function designed by our group members. The first user-defined function is a function named vehicle type, which will prompt the user to choose their type of vehicle and then display the choice made by user afterwards. This function will return the value for type of vehicle as an integer. The second user-defined function is a function named car model, which will display options of vehicle type available for users that is stored in an array. So when the function is called, the contents of the array will be displayed. The first user-defined function, the coding for the first user-defined function is done by Nadia Adleena, and the coding for the second user-defined function is done by me, Siti Aqilah. Next, user-defined functions are functions to display options of rim sizes available based on the type of vehicles chosen by the user. The options of rim sizes available are also stored in 3 different arrays based on the type of vehicle. If a user chose standard car as their vehicle type, the first user-defined function, which is rim size underscore std, will be called. If user chose 4x4, the second user-defined function, which is rim size underscore 4x4, will be called. And if user chose sports car, the third user-defined function, which is the rim size underscore sp function, will be called. The coding for these 3 functions are done by me, Siti Aqilah. The next one is a user-defined function named rim underscore size. This function will choose desired size of rim and then display the choices made by user. For example, if previously user has chosen vehicle type 1, which is standard car, the function to display options of rim sizes available for standard car will be displayed and will be called so that the options will be displayed, and then the program will prompt user to enter the desired rim size. If vehicle type chosen by the user previously is 4x4, then the function to display options of rim sizes available for 4x4 will be displayed by calling the function rim size underscore 4x4. Next, if the vehicle type chosen by the user is sports car, the function named rim size underscore sp will be called to display the options of rim sizes available for sports car and user will be prompted to enter their desired rim size. This function will return a value for size of the rim as an integer. The coding for this user-defined function is done by Nadia Adleena. Next user-defined function is a function named RIMMATL, which will display options of rim materials available for users to choose from. The options of rim materials are stored in different arrays based on the type of vehicle chosen by users previously. If users choose vehicle type 1 or vehicle type 2, which are standard car and 4x4, aluminum alloy and steel will be displayed. If users previously chose vehicle type 3, which is sports car, aluminum alloy, steel and carbon fiber will be displayed. Next function is a user-defined function named rim quantity, which will prompt user to enter desired rim quantity and then display the choices made by the user. The user-defined function 5 is the coding for user-defined function 5 is done by me, Siti Aqilah, and the coding for user-defined function 6 is done by Nadia Adleena. Moving on to the next user-defined function, which is a function named rim color. This function will prompt user to choose their desired rim color and then display the choices made by user afterward. This function will return the value for rim color as an integer. And the coding for this function is done by Nadia Adleena. Next, the next user-defined function is a function named RIMCLR, which function to display options of rim colors available for users to choose. The options available are stored in an array and will be displayed once the function is called. This function, the coding for this function is done by me, Siti Aqilah. Next is a user-defined function named rim_material, which will prompt user to choose their desired rim material and then display the choices made by user afterwards. This function will return the value for rim material as an integer. For every user-defined functions that will prompt user to choose based on their preferences, while loop is used to ensure that the input entered by user is valid. If the input is invalid, the program will prompt user to input their choice once again. The next user-defined function is a function designed to calculate the cost based on vehicle type, rim size, and rim material chosen by user previously. This function will only calculate the cost for one rim quantity without discount, and the coding for this user-defined function was done by Amelina. Next is a user-defined function to calculate the total cost based on the rim color and the quantity of rims chosen by user. If rim color chosen is option 1, which is silver, the total price will be the price calculated by the previous function multiplied by the quantity of rims. If the rim color chosen is pink or green, the total price will be the price calculated by the previous function plus 30 and multiplied by the quantity of rims. This is because for pink and green color rims, additional 30 ringgit will be charged per rim. The coding for this user-defined function was done by Amelina. The next user-defined function is a user-defined function to calculate discount when necessary. When the number of rim purchased is more or equal to 100 units but less than 400 units, the discount given is 10% of the total cost. When the number of rim purchased is more or equal to 400 units, the discount given is 30% of the total cost. The coding for this user-defined function was done by Syafarina. Next is a user-defined function named confirmation, which will ask for confirmation from user to proceed to the next section. When this function is called, it will first display all the preferences chosen by the user previously and then ask for agreement from the user to purchase this rim before proceeding to the next section. If user input yes, the function will return true, which will then cause the program to proceed to the next section. But if the customer disagree or input no, the function will return false and cause the program to end, and user can enter their new preferences once again. The coding for this user-defined function was done by Amirah Izzati. The next user-defined function is a function that will prompt the user to choose their preferred payment method between online transfer, Visa, MasterCard, debit, credit, or PayPal. If user choose to proceed with online transfer, they will then be asked to choose their preferred bank between Maybank, CIMB, BSN, and Islamic Bank. Based on their choice, they will then be given the link of their chosen banks. If user choose to proceed with option 2, which is Visa, MasterCard, debit, or credit, they will be prompted to enter their card number, the card expiry date, as well as the card CVV number. If their preferred payment method is option 3, which is PayPal, they will be given the link to PayPal. The coding for this user-defined function was done by Syafarina. The next user-defined function is designed to display receipt for the user's reference and write data to a text file named purchase. Once the previous section is done and this function is called, it will first prompt the user to input their name and email, which will then be displayed and written into the text file to be stored as data. The receipt will display the choices that has been made by user, which include the vehicle type, rim size, rim material, rim color, and the rim quantity. It will also display the price before discount, the discount given, as well as the total price after discount. Throughout this function, the choices made by user is written into the text file named purchase. For this user-defined function, the coding for the receipt part was done by Amirah Izzati, while the coding for the text file part was done by me, Siti and Aqilah. Moving on to the main function, the program will first display the welcoming phrase, which is "Welcome to Woman in STEM" with rim shop, and then the next commands are to call the user-defined functions, which will display the options available for users as well as prompt user to input their choice. Once done, the user-defined function to calculate the total price before discount, the discount given, as well as the total price after discount will be called. Next, the program will call the user-defined function named confirmation. If this function returns false, the program will end and user can input their new preferences. If the function returns true, the program will proceed to calling the next function, which is the user-defined function that will prompt user to choose the preferred payment method and proceed for payment. Lastly, the user-defined function named display receipt will be called to display the receipt to user, and then only will the program end. So the coding for this main function was done by me, Siti and Aqilah.
This program will first start by welcoming the users to the program, and it will display the car model options available. There are 3 options for type of vehicles, which are standard cars, 4x4, and sports car. Next, the program will prompt user to enter desired type of vehicle. In this video demonstration, car model number 1 will be selected, which is standard car. Once choice has been made, program will display the choice made by the user. Subsequently, user is required to enter desired rim sizes. Options for rim sizes vary according to the type of vehicle. Program will display rim sizes available for the selected car type only. For standard cars, rim sizes available are 15 x 7 inch and 16 x 7 inch. For 4x4, sizes available are 16 x 7 inch and 18 x 7 inch. Just now, we have chosen standard car, so the program will display available rim sizes for standard cars only. Let's choose option number 1 now. Next, the program will prompt user to enter desired rim material. For standard cars and 4x4, there are 2 options of materials, which are aluminum alloy and steel, whereas for sports car, there are 3 options of materials, which are aluminum alloy, steel, and carbon fiber. Since we have chosen standard car, these are the available options. Let's choose aluminum alloy. Next, the program will proceed to prompt the user to input desired rim color. There are 3 options of color, which are silver, pink, and green. For every section, if the user enter invalid input, the program will display invalid input, enter your choice again, and prompt the user to enter the choice once again. So let's choose number 1 this time. Next, user is required to enter rim quantity. Let's put 4. The program will then display the total price for the rims and total price after discount. For discount, if the quantity of rims that user would like to purchase is in the range within 100 to 399 units, 10% discount will be given. If the quantity of rims that user would like to purchase is 400 and above, 30% discount will be given. Additional 30 ringgit per rim will be given if user choose to purchase pink or green colored rims. Then, program will display all choices made by the user and ask confirmation from user to proceed to payment. This confirmation section is designed in case user decided to change selection and start the order all over again. Hence, if user input yes, program will proceed to the next section, which is payment section. Otherwise, program will end and user can reselect based on user preferences once again. Next section is the payment section, in which user will first be asked to choose their preferred payment method, which are online transfer, Visa, MasterCard, debit or credit card, and PayPal. If user chooses to use online transfer, user will then have to choose the preferred bank to perform the online transfer payment. If user choose Visa, MasterCard, debit, credit, program will prompt user to enter user's card number, card's expiry number, as well as card's CVV number for the payment. If user choose PayPal, program will direct user to the website for the payment process by displaying the link for these websites. Let's choose option number 1, and preferred bank is Maybank. Next, the program will prompt the user to enter username and email to be stored in the text file. Once payment is done, a digital receipt will be displayed for users' references. Throughout the program, data are written into a text file named purchase. The data stored in the text file are username, email, vehicle type, rim size, rim material, rim color, rim quantity that have been keyed in by the user, as well as the total cost that user has to pay.
Next, let's talk about the specialty and limitations of this program. The specialties are users are able to select from a variety of choices for each specification, and a receipt will be displayed to user after a payment method has been selected by the user. However, the program has a limitation, which includes the user is unable to purchase different types of rims in one receipt. By using the knowledge gained from our structured programming and database course, we were able to complete this program. The program accomplishes its purpose by allowing users to select the type of vehicle model that they wish to purchase the rim for. Next, users have to select the specifications of rim, such as rim size, rim material, rim color, and finally key in the desired quantity of rims. When selecting the specifications, the options are displayed to the user, and the program will also display the specifications chosen. After each time the user has selected the wanted specification. For example, when a user input 3 for vehicle type, the program will display your choice is sports car. After all selections of specifications have been made, the program will then calculate the total cost of the rims. Each specification may influence the total price. The program will then calculate the cost based on quantity by multiplying the price of one rim with the desired quantity that was keyed in by the user. For users that wish to purchase rims with a quantity of 100 and above, the program will calculate a total discounted price. After calculations have been done by the program will then display the total price. Subsequently, the program will prompt user for confirmation of purchase. If the user keys in yes to confirm, the program will display payment choice and prompt user to select preferred payment method. After selection is made by user, a receipt will be displayed and the program will end. However, if no is keyed into the program will end.
Moving on to the complexity of the program. This program applies an array, loop, if-else code structures, and also text file. For the array, it enables the program to get input from the user according to the selection that has been provided in the program. That includes car model, rim size, and rim material function. And for the loop structure, it will use to retrieve the elements in the array by allowing the sections of code to be repeated according to the condition. For example, for loop, is used when choosing rim size and color according to the car model, and while loop is used in the discount function. Next, if a structure is also used and the program will perform when the condition that has been set is true, it will enable the selection to be done based on the condition that has been set based on the user choice. And this structure is used for vehicle type, rim size, rim color, rim material, rim quantity, agreement of the purchase, and choice of the payment option. And last, the text file is also used as the output file to print the receipt for buyer as a proof of their purchase and also payment details.
Next, this program uses a TXT file or text file format to generate purchase documentation for the user, where the record is in form of strings in blocks. However, if you want to insert more purchase details in the text file, you may need to rewrite the entire text file to a new file. Hence, as a future improvement, it is recommended to implement database instead of text file. Next, another improvement aspect is to increase the number of rim materials so that the user is not limited to choose either aluminium, steel, or carbon fiber. The reason is that the user has a lot of factors to consider, such as road condition, vehicle weight, stability, and wheel diameter, and therefore, limiting the rim material to only 3 options will be a problem to the user. Last but not least, the future improvement of this program is to handle real payment method that redirect the user to the actual payment website instead of using mock payment where this program only displays the link of the payment website to the user.
Ladies and gentlemen, to conclude, our group managed to develop a C++ program called Women in STEM Rim Shop with 3 objectives that have been mentioned at the beginning of this video. The program can be executed perfectly according to our proposal with no error. In our C++ program, we applied all the knowledge that have been taught by our lecturer, including function, array, text file, and calculation. That's all from us. Thank you.